Hello everyone, it's a beautiful sunny day on Herlefeld, and once again, I don't know if I am pronouncing that correctly, but there you have it. An American tries to play on a German map. It's been quite a while since I've actually recorded an episode. I thought I lost some footage here, and I haven't even looked at the timestamps. It's been at least a month since I've been in here, so I'm kind of just cycling around to see kind of where things are at. Oh yes, I was windrowing the grass, but what I can't tell is, did I just cut it or did I ted it also? These are the questions that I can't remember. I am going to assume I tethered it and will, try to bring up Ailer in at some point. Alright, well, I think we've been around to all of our machinery. Let me see, does this one? No, I don't have it. You know what? We're just going to start cutting. What do we have up here? Is this barley? That's what it looks like. Kind of wheat over to the side. Get this going. Yes, indeed, it is barley. I could going around at least once. And, I've played some other Farm Sim 11 here lately, and I've used my Hillside Combine again, and I noticed that this map has a fair number of hills in it, so I would like to use it in here, but there's something that kind of stymies me on it, and it's a script that I wrote up to, I explained this some time ago on the Feldy series. It was a script trying to help the view of the camera so that it wasn't always perpendicular to the hill, if I can put it that way, nor that it felt every bump. And what I did is I borrowed some code from Farm Sim 15, and I tried to use what it had to apply it to the cameras in here, and it's kind of a square peg and a round hole. And it does some screwball things, so I don't have it activated at the moment. But if I want to use my Hillside Combine, I have to have it. Otherwise, the Combine won't work effectively. But if I put that script in here, then there's some other things that don't work, and it's kind of the age-old problem of mods, if you will, and conflicts. And this must be, it's not a very huge combine, so we're going to be pretty quick filling it up. The other reason I like that combine is I installed the autopilot mod in it, so it can go around and around, and whereas the option we're left with in here is only back and forth when I hire. This is kind of an oddball shaped field, so maybe I'll start on the short side over there and hire. Turns out I'm going to be full pretty soon anyhow. I'm going to have to zip up and go get the tractor and wagon. So this is just my 4th episode on here. I really don't know how long this will. I can use this. Maybe this will work. Okay, hold on a sec. Manager 5, weight and tandem, maybe 6. There we go. Good to know that that works. You gotta know how long I'll be trying this particular map. It doesn't have as much going on as the Feldy map did, and there's a single sell point, so I'm kind of thinking I may get through it quicker, but I don't know. Some of it, yeah, see, boy, what I was mentioning earlier with the vehicle camera, I'm just bouncing kind of all over with every little bump on the map. That's kind of how things were in the days of Farm Sim 11. I think that's alright. Combine is number 3. Yeah, if I can just get him over there, get him hired, and then I can do some other things. One of the things that I definitely want to do, though, is to check out the BGA. I don't think I've ever used the modded BGA. You know, I've only ever used the one, you know, that the Giants created. The version that I have here, Farm Sim 11, is Platinum. And with the Platinum version, I think it included both DLCs, so it has the extra equipment in it, and it has, you know, the coding that the Giants created for the BGA. But before this, and maybe even back into Farm Sim 09, I don't know the history of it very well, but maybe even back in Farm Sim 09, modders had tried to create a BGA. And I gotta say, until Farming Simulator, I had never even so much as heard of a BGA, even as a concept, so you learn so much, you know, when you play this particular game. But I've only ever done it, you know, using the Giants' own script. Now, can I drive through this? Ah, ha, ha, I like that. Oops. Except I did not mean to do that. I know, I should technically drive around. I'm just going to do it this way. Russell will probably leave a comment in the notes here below the video, because I know he's one, I've heard him say on his videos he enjoys or likes it when mappers take the collisions off of obstacles in the middle of the field, and so it gives kind of the player a choice, you know, to either go around it or do what I just did, go right on through it. Alright, let me turn this dude loose. I can get him down. Make sure there's no course on him. There you go. Let me go to... He's probably full. Now I gotta remember how to get out. Oh, I just gotta go out to the main road and head over to grain storage. Now, is this a road? There were several kind of back routes. I don't know that this was intended to be one of them, so maybe I'll be hitting a ditch up here. Nope. I can't really... Yeah, that probably wasn't intended to be a road, but... Oh, well. Made it one. Yeah. Probably I'm supposed to appear on the other side of this over here. We'll go underneath the Autobahn and all the speedy cars. There's a script that we have going that powers all those cars. Now, Russell left a comment on a previous video that it would seem odd if there were no cars on the Autobahn, and I frankly agree. Alright, let's get this grain dumped off, and I seem to recall, yeah, it's in here where I do this. I didn't want to hit the side of the shed. Or not? Huh. Well, this is interesting. Ah, there we go. Just had to go far enough. If I recall correctly, it kind of goes through the roof of the shed. Probably a good thing that collisions are turned off. Otherwise, we just damage the shed. It would be nice if it had a little plane coming out of there, but it doesn't. Alright, the old combine is stopped, so we'll have to hurry up and get back out there, see what's going on. And functionally, we won't get to it this particular episode, but anybody that's used the non-Giants BGA before, I'd appreciate if you commented. I never have. And the Giants one, I'm assuming it's very similar, maybe should be the same. The Giants BGA, you would drop, let's see, grass, chaff in it, and then it would turn into silage, and you would take the silage and then put it in, you would cook it, or whatever they call that, when you compress it and put the veneer that's kind of over it, and then it would turn it into silage. You would put it into the hopper, and it would turn into cash. Basically to power or to run the power unit there. And I think it also gave off some slurry. I don't remember if it gave off anything else. So I'm kind of curious. It looks like everything is similar. And maybe that's just, like I say, I'm ignorant kind of on how BGAs work. And until Farming Simulator, I didn't really even know what a BGA was. So, but I'm just kind of curious to see if it functions the same as a Giants. Put in grass or chaff, drive the tractor over it a number of times to compress it, and then sell the silage. So I assume it's something similar. Makes you wonder too if the Giants would have borrowed the code from the guy who made it, but who knows. Alright, let me go back to here, and I wish I could tell. I just can't tell if... Surely I would have tethered this, right? Maybe? I don't know. Oh, hold on. I was about ready to make a grand circle. I about forget. I have all these fence posts here. Every single one of which is gonna stop me in my tracks. Alright, let's cook this along here. What is your preference, when starting a map? This one here obviously was created kind of under the notion that it was in the middle of harvest. Some of the fields were already harvested a little bit, and actually, can I do this to keep an eye on my combine? I think I can. Some of the fields were already harvested partially, and so you kind of come in here and they gave you a bunch of equipment. And I don't know, I don't care, starting kind of in the middle. I have a big map that I'm playing too. I can't, I wish I could remember how to pronounce the name of it, but I can't. I only remember the English butchering of it. Big in Pomerania. It starts with a V, but it had almost every single field, and this is a big old 4X map. Almost every single field is ready to go for harvest, and man, it's leaving that little dab there no matter what I do. And there was only, as I recall, a single field that was left open to dirt. And I think in a previous episode we kind of looked at that, and here there are a couple fields that are down to the dirt, but most of them have something in it. I was just curious, people have a preference, when they start a map, do they like a clean slate? And, because it doesn't seem, well, first off, in this version of the game, this older version, you own every field, when you hop into the map. So, which generally isn't realistic, that you could do that. Although that doesn't mean we have to do something in every single field, of course. But I know in later versions of the game, you were forced to buy them. And I remember, I think this was for Farm Sim 17. This is back in the days of the FSU UK forums. I still miss that place. I really enjoyed the people there and just the environment for learning about the game and shared experiences and whatnot. But I remember making a mod one time. It was at the request of somebody who asked how to do it as a forum post, where they said it's unrealistic to buy a field and have a crop in it. So what he wanted was a mod that when you bought a field, it would reduce it to dirt. So I figured out a way to do that and sent the ad out. It wasn't a released mod, I just told him how to do it on the forum, with some Lua coding or whatnot. But I've wondered about that. I don't know how it is in some of the latest versions, Farm Sim 22 or 25. But I almost think, the air combine stopped. I almost think when you buy a field, it leaves it in whatever state it was in. But I don't know. Maybe they've changed it. I mean, what do I know? I haven't played Farm Sim 25 ever, so... To the combine. Oh, it's just stopped. Okay, let me head to here. Alright, he's on the long stretch. No, I wouldn't do this in real life. Driving over the grain. I think I'll need to take a load in. But here we obviously started with all these fields, and I wonder if, I don't know if it'd be more fun or would make you work a little harder if you first had to plant, everything. But I know. I mean, there's a significant portion of the farming sim community that I think mainly what they like to do is harvest. So, it's probably that way for a reason. And in here, it would take a lot of work to try to make a mod where it reduced the field to dirt. I mean, we have, number one, we got no mechanism in here to buy the fields. It would take field definitions, and we don't have those. And if you didn't have those, it would take some highfalutin coding, and probably beyond my abilities anyways. I know how to break stuff. It's a lot harder to fix it and make it work. And another load. Oops. Get in there. And there goes the roof. Oh, that's right. I've got that script in here. Yeah, see, these are the things that'll keep you working. Any trailer, I talked about this at length in the Feldy series that I did. You know, a script that drains your fuel tank, you know, more when you're threshing, when you're working your tractor, plowing or cultivating, or like what I'm doing right now, carting of grain. And I think it's based on how much material you have in the trailer. I don't mind the extra cost. I do gotta say it gets a little annoying having to keep filling the fuel tank. But we do what we got to do. You know, the distance textures on this game just, they leave something to be desired. They really do. And it's in here too, when you look up ahead at the windrows. You know, I'm positive when I opened the map up and I looked at the coding in the i3D file for these windrows, I'm positive that they have distance textures. And you see up here, you can see the windrow as separate from the dirt underneath. But it isn't doing that in all places. And I'm not sure why. See, you look down over here, you can't see the straw windrows. This one cuts off. You look here with the grass windrows, and they cut off over here. You can see some of them. I just wish you could continue to see the outline. It's inconsistent, and I'm not sure why. These are the things that when I play a map, it drives me bonkers. And it's probably one of those things they've tried to improve bit by bit, you know, with each new iteration of the game. I don't know how successful they are, but oops. There we go. Yeah, this is going to be a booger to bring the baler in here, but oh well. I think there's 2 fields here that I have ready to bring the baler to. Maybe off cam I can finish the job in here. I know there are some people who say some of their favorite tasks in Farming Sim is related to grass work. And I just don't do that much grass work. Unless I have a purpose, you know, for feeding the cattle or what have you. Here I'm going to be just clearing these fields, getting some bales, and this of course was in the days before you know, you could feed these to cattle. Although, you know, I don't think it'd be that hard to make a script to feed them to the cattle. There was I remember seeing a script made, I think in Farm Sim 15, maybe it also existed for 13. It was created by Marhu, German modder, and it would allow the player to dump bales straight into the feed trough, and that worked pretty cool. That way, you know, you could stack bales up, you could store them over the winter season or an on-growing season, if you will, feed the cattle, the bales, or sheep or whatever straight from the barn, just like you would in real life. Versus, taking loose grass, picking it up loose and dumping it straight in. I know you can do that too, but there are so many places, that will put up hay for the winter, and it was nice to have them on where you could do that. And it may not be that hard to make one here for Farm Sim 11. I'd have to give that a little bit of thought. Probably could even borrow some code from those, the one that I remember in Farm Sim 15. Painful part about Farm Sim 11 is it's got multiplayer coding that would be needed. Everything changed after Farm Sim 09, that's for sure. Is that combine? It must be doing the short part. It's in a field, kind of shaped like a boot. And even as I run a tractor in here, at the moment I can hear in the field outside my house, it's almost 9 o'clock in the evening, and it's fall as I record this. Past couple days we've had beautiful weather, and the local farmers are just working their tails off, taking care of some field work, because tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, we have some rain on the way, so they're out doing field prep, getting ready for some fall planting, and we got about a week's worth of rain coming. And interestingly, I'm driving a Dutz tractor here at the moment. I'm suspicious. What is going on with the combine? Did it tell me it stopped? Oh dear. Well, call me inattentive. Anyway, this is Dutz equipment in here, but I know, this is another benefit of Farming Sim, is learning some of these other brands. I've never worked with Dutz equipment, I don't think I've ever seen Fendt equipment here locally. I live, in Oregon in the U.S., clear over on the West Coast, and up until a day or two ago, I don't think I'd ever seen Fendt here in the local area, and lo and behold, there's a tractor right outside in the field working. I can hear it right now. It's pulling some kind of heavy roller out there. Just tilling up the soil, getting it ready. And JCB in this area is pretty rare too. And I finally have seen, one of those here of late. Actually, a couple of them. So I know the markets, they're kind of coming in, and the area here previously, which you typically would see, well, it's kind of a hodgepodge, but primarily I would say John Deere is what you would most commonly see. But I've seen farms, that had Case, I've seen International, Massey Ferguson, Ford, New Holland, all those major brands, but never Fendt, and never really JCB. Of course, I don't know how old those brands are, nor for that matter Dutz. I don't, maybe they just don't come all the way west out here. I really don't know. But I don't think I've ever seen Dutz either. I've seen Alice Chalmers, and I seem to recall back in the day that Dutz and Alice Chalmers merged. Maybe someone could correct me on that. And maybe now they're part of some massive conglomerate. I don't know. But Yeah, I don't think I've seen these in this area either. Different kind of green paint, I guess. Well, we are almost done here, and maybe I can just finish this field off before closing the video. Everybody is, please no, stop. I do like the texture underneath. It seems different. I wonder if it's just the map texture underneath. I do like it, you know, when the windrows and everything can stand out on the visually at least. And now we're way far enough from the pesky fence posts. Alright, the combine has stopped. So you know what? I will stop too. I'll get up to the end of the way. Get him turned around. And we'll call this good. Oh, except I was trying to go to my combine. There it is. Alright, everybody. Well, thank you so much for coming along to listen to an accountant try to farm on good old Herlefeld. Who knows what adventures lay in store yet that we haven't yet seen. I'll try to finish some of this offline, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.